Hi everybody, Michelle McClunan here, and I'm bringing you an update on the new moon on the 16th of October. It's a kind of action-packed week in astrology. I posted a few days ago that Mercury's just moved retrograde. We have Mars retrograde, and we have this big new moon. So it's a super moon, which means that it's closer to the Earth. So we'll still feel its energy even though we don't see the moon because it's new. What happens at a new moon is that the moon and the sun are at the same degree in the sky. So you can't see the moon, but you definitely feel the effects of her. So new moons are always time to plant new seeds. It's the end of one cycle and the start of another cycle. And so it's usually the energies at new moon and full moon are much more powerful than at any other time of the month. And the new moon energy kind of extends for the month because it sets up the lunar month, if you like. So this new moon is in Libra, which means that it is both the sun and the moon are in Libra. But the interesting part of this new moon is that it's caught up in an aspect, which means that it's caught up in a relationship with a couple of other planets, namely Mars, which is opposing it. And then both of those, so you've got the sun and the moon here and Mars over here, and squaring those two, you've got the three planets in Capricorn: Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn. So that's quite strong energy. So let's just unpack the energy a little bit, just to sort of help you navigate it, really. So the new moon itself is in Libra, which is really all about balance. It's about harmony. It's the desire for justice, for peace, to bring things into alignment. That's really what a new moon in Libra wants to do. It's the sign that's related to relationships. So relationships of all kinds are under the spotlight this month anyway. And that's the relationship with our partners, with our friends, our colleagues, our children, our bodies, our money, our government. We're always in relationship to something. So that's what's been sort of highlighted this new moon. Now opposing that, you've got Mars, which is the warrior planet in Aries, which is the warrior sign. So on one hand, you've got this desire for peace, harmony, and balance. And on the other hand, you've got this kind of warring, warlike, warrior-like energy. On the one hand, with the Libra planet, you've got all is about us. It's all about pleasing. It's all about making everything smooth and harmonious and beautiful. And on the other hand, you've got Mars, which is about me and my desires, my needs, and my desire for individual freedom. So you've got that as a polarity this new moon. Then to make it a little bit more exciting, Mars is retrograde, which means that the energy is really strong, which could be bringing up stuff from the past. It could be bringing up anger, it could be bringing up frustration, it could be bringing up repressed stuff that we haven't looked at or that we don't like because it might be more the unpleasant side of us or the shadow side. So that can come up. In addition to that, those three are squaring this batch of planets in Capricorn, which seems to be the theme for the whole year. So it's really the theme continues of personally, of stuff coming up to the surface to be cleared and healed. Globally, there are going to be more exposures, I think, in the next month than we even understand. That comes compliments of this lunation, this new moon, but also because Mercury's just gone retrograde. So yesterday and today it's stationing, which means it's sort of still, and then it starts its retrograde cycle properly tomorrow, and it'll stay that way till the 3rd of November. On the 3rd of November is the final day of the US elections. As most of you will know, if you follow a little bit of astrology, Mercury retrograde is known to create mishaps and understandings in communications. It's often a case of things going missing, contracts being annulled, things not working out in terms of negotiations, or there might be disagreements. Very often we find that our digital stuff goes sort of belly up, our cell phones crash or our laptops crash, or we lose our data, we can miss planes, we can get calendar dates wrong. Those are all things that happen generally on a Mercury retrograde cycle. It doesn't happen to everybody. It seems that some people sort of escape that, but it does happen to many people. So this cycle, this retrograde Mercury cycle, is in Scorpio. Scorpio is the sign of the underworld, what lies underneath the surface, the shadow. So this retrograde cycle is likely to bring a lot of skeletons up to the surface. Things that we may not have acknowledged or may not have been aware of are going to come to light. More of that is going to come to light over the next month. In terms of our personal lives, the same might happen. So anything that we've repressed is being cleared under this retrograde cycle. We might find that we're more emotionally defensive. We might be more paranoid. Just be aware of that, because it's kind of an underlying theme. Unconscious patterns might actually come up to the surface. It's not a bad thing, because as long as they're underneath the surface, they're causing damage. Once we can actually bring them up to the surface and look at them and see them, we're able to actually clear them and work with them. So I would encourage you to face them, to really look at those fears that might be arising for you, to feel the feelings in your body, to not repress. So to keep open during this, because it is a little bit like a pressure cooker, and we need to express and stay open. So if you're feeling anger, let it out, not at somebody else. See if you can just express it in some way, in a healthy way. Go for a walk, leave the room, get some distance, because there will be likely some pressure cooker moments over the next few days and possibly the next few weeks. Mercury retrograde is always a time when we review, we reflect, we reassess. So we're really reassessing our patterns, our pain bodies, to see, oh, interesting, I was feeling fine, and then that happened, I got an SMS or somebody said something, and now I'm actually in my pain body. What's underneath that? To feel it, not necessarily to answer it here in your head, but to actually feel it in your body, and just allow those feelings to actually flow through you. It's not about understanding it with the head. This year is about embodying what we're actually feeling, so that we can clear it, so that we can actually raise our consciousness. That's what this is about. So yeah, there's a lot going on. Mercury, then when you look at Mercury, Mercury is opposite the planet Uranus. Uranus is the planet of change, sudden shocks, sudden exposures again. So I think there's going to be a lot of interesting stuff happening this month. Judging by the election thing, the last time Mercury went direct on the last day of the elections was in 2000, when George Bush won, even though Al Gore was sort of seen to be the winner. And there was a lot of confusion and a lot of questioning about what happened to the ballots and all of that. So there's a good chance that might happen again. We don't know. Just know that this is the month to really keep your center. Whenever we look at astrology, we see patterns in the sky. And what's happening this new moon, which is setting the theme for the month, is that we've got what we call a T-square. So you've got, as I said, you've got the sun and the moon here, you've got Mars here, and they're squaring the planets in Capricorn. We then look to see where the release point is. So that T-square is a little bit like a pressure cooker, and it needs to bring that little thing up so that we actually release some of the energy, release some of the pressure. And so we look to see what is touching that, what is in a favorable aspect to that, and it's the planet Neptune in Pisces, which is about going inside. It's about slowing down. It's about taking space. It's about breathing, taking time in nature, taking time to breathe, to be, to listen to music, dance, make some art, channel the energy so that it actually lets the pressure off. I think that's the best thing that I can sort of advise you to do in terms of navigating it. So, yeah, take care of yourselves, be gentle, no judgment about what comes up. Whatever comes up needs to come up and needs to be felt so that it can be cleared. So, I hope that helps. I'm obviously available for astrology readings if you need one. I've got about a 2-week delay, but you're welcome to contact me. And we're in our 4th course now, our Journey to Freedom course, which is going beautifully. And John and I are going to be running some workshops, some personal workshops, in-person workshops. We've got one coming up in Stellenbosch next weekend. It's the 24th and 25th of October. And then we are running one at Monkey Valley, which is a retreat, 13th of November. So have a look below. The details are below. And let us know if you might be keen to join us. Take care of yourself. Lots of love.